Hey guys, Stuart Tomlinson, Warrior Collective, back once again with Inside Chat on a live stream. I am so fortunate to have today with me my good friend, one championship CEO, founder of Evolve MMA, and hugely inspirational figure from the world of martial arts and business. And that, of course, is Chatri Sityodtong. Chatri, how are you?
Awesome. Good to see you, Stu. It's been a while, but I follow you on social media. I see all the wonderful things you're doing for martial arts. And, I remember several years ago when we first met, obviously things have gone, life is crazy. You just never know the adventure, right? So both of us have been on this kind of fun adventure in different parts of the world, but spreading our love.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could not agree more. I mean, I've got to say, mine's a very small, small role compared to yours, but
No, no,
uh,
no, no. The way I think about it is, it comes from the same source. It's our love for martial arts, our greatest passion in life, and we're all fighting for different dreams, and we all have different responsibilities, different timing, different luck. What city you're in, what country you're in. There's a lot of factors that come to play, and so I just love being a part of the martial arts community. The world. My work has taken me in the last 40 days. Literally, I've been in Singapore only 3 days, and I've been traveling across Asia, across Middle East, across Europe, across the States, and back and forth. And everywhere I go, I just stop by the martial arts academy, and I train and get to see my brothers and sisters from the community, and it's just a joy to see that the martial arts community is thriving, growing, and all over the world. So it's a fun time, man, in history.
I could not agree more. And like I said, you've already touched on a few things that I'm probably going to ask you. But I have to say, first of all, like you just said, it's been quite a while since we've been in the same place, even if we've had this kind of face-to-face conversation. But I know recently, it's a little bit like a belated birthday party. But I know you got your brown belt in jiu-jitsu last year. Now, as someone who kind of smashes business goals on such a regular basis, this is quite a personal one. How did it mean to you to receive that belt at that point?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I've been doing jujitsu for about, let's say, 16 years, maybe 12 years solid, right? Maybe, here and there because my schedule's so crazy. But, 16 years ago. And I started. And, I can't say I'm the best jujitsu practitioner, but I did work long and hard, many, many injuries, been submitted more times than I can care for, on the way to my brown belt. And my next goal is black. I'm a stone's throw, just keep working away. And, I train every day still, either Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu or both. And I have been ever since I was a kid. Obviously Muay Thai I started when I was like 13 or so, about 38 years ago. And I still train every day. And even when I'm on the road, I make sure whenever wherever I go, where I am in the world, I find a gym, I find a school, and I train. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, but yeah, getting my black belt in jiu-jitsu over the next couple of years, hopefully less, is definitely a goal of mine. I've been at it for a long, long time, and have a lot of battle scars to show for.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know your kind of first love was Muay Thai, and as we get older, as we all do, and especially for you, because not only have you got family, which most people get, but having a global business and traveling all the time must make it very difficult. How do you? You just mentioned that you train daily. How much do you enjoy training nowadays? Has it changed for you over this period of time? Then.
No, it's still the favorite. It's still the best part of my day. Believe it or not, that 1 or 2 hours that I'm training my ass off, and the exhaustion and the high I get afterwards, feeling like I left it all in the mats or left it all in the ring. It always leaves me a feeling of satisfaction. And yes, I'm a little older, so I don't have the speed or the cardio that I used to when I was a kid. But I do feel like I'm a better martial artist overall. I mean, I feel I'm a lot wiser, a lot more experienced. And so for me, it's just this endless journey. It's a quest to just be always better, improve myself daily. And this is why I train. And the other thing that why I train is, or I find a lot of a lot of beautiful lessons on the mat, as I've always had, or in the gym, whether it was Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu. But being humbled on the mats, every time I train or roll with a black belt or whatever it is, reminds me that, we are all equal in life, and that life is just a fight, man. We're always fighting for our dreams, for our loved ones, for our values, for our futures, for who we want to be. Life is a fight, and there is no better expression than having to go train with people who are better than you, to be reminded of that. But that being said, for me, in the martial arts academy, again, whether it's Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, for me is one of the most purest experiences you can have on a daily basis as a human being. There's no such thing as job titles, bank accounts, what car you drive, all that stuff. Your skills are your skills, and that's it. And it does not matter how many years of Muay Thai you've been doing. It does not matter what color your belt is in Jiu-Jitsu. What I love about these arts is, if you cannot handle your business in a hand-to-hand combat, one-on-one situation, whether it's, just training, hitting pads, rolling, sparring, or competing, or on the streets, then it doesn't really matter. You don't have the skills. So this is what I love about Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai is there's no faking it. Other martial arts, and I won't name which martial arts, but there are other martial arts where you can genuinely achieve a black belt and be no better than a ballerina at fighting, literally. And the thing that I love about Jiu-Jitsu, the thing I love about Muay Thai is there's no BSing. You either know your shit or you don't. And it's very, very, very apparent, and so that's what I love most, the truth every day that I receive on the mats or in the ring, and the continuous quest as a martial artist to get better and better as a lifelong martial artist, even though, again, my physical attributes may no longer be the same. I'm just not, I'm a lot older, but the joy, the love, it's still the same as when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, that I think people might not know if they don't know you personally or if they've not followed you for a long time is, I guess because people see you as this global entrepreneur, businessman, CEO, they don't always realize that just like them, this all grew from a passion and a love of martial arts. And actually it must be quite, I guess that there's probably business people that you come across who've come into your world from outside the world of martial arts, who might find it a little strange how often you train and how entrenched you are into the physical training. Do you ever pass on your passion for martial arts to any of these non-martial arts business people that you come across?
It doesn't matter who I come across. I always try to persuade them to come join a martial arts school wherever you are in the world to what I believe, again, is the greatest platform to unleash human greatness in life, martial arts. It teaches you, through thousands of hours of training and competing and teaching and all that, I've realized it's physical. Yes, you can go and kick ass and you can defend yourself in 99% of self-defense situations, in hand-to-hand combat. But the reality is that what you inherit is far more valuable. You inherit work ethic, you inherit courage and humility and honor. You have an unbreakable warrior spirit to conquer adversity in life. There's just so many beautiful things that we all receive as lifelong martial artists that I just want to spread that always with everyone I am. But yeah, I mean, I don't post that I train every day, but I train every day. I've been a martial artist longer than I've been a businessman. It was funny because I was giving a media interview the other day, and I was just calculating. I've been doing martial arts for 38 years, and I've been a businessman for only 25 years. So when people are like, how, tell me why is one different than the other two big global organizations? And I say, look, I'm the only person guaranteed who's a CEO, especially of a global major organization, who's a lifelong martial artist, who still trains every single day without fail. I mean, I'll take one day off during the week, but some weeks I'll train 7 days a week, just out of sheer love. Maybe I'll go lighter if my body's tired, but I'll still do it because I want to keep on progressing. There's always things to learn. And like I said, I'm a lot wiser as a martial artist today than I was when I was younger. I was a lot more speed, strength, and cardio based, and now much more technical and thoughtful and strategic. And these are the things that you get from being around martial for a long time. But I think people know me as a businessman or as a CEO. They don't, unless you're a one athlete and you've trained with me, you wouldn't know that I do martial arts. It's not like I'm posting every day. It's such a part of my life that for me to take a selfie of me on the mats or rolling or hitting pads or sparring is just, I don't know, it's like, why would I take a picture of myself eating breakfast? Like it's part of my daily routine. But yes, to answer your question, it is still the best part of my day, believe it or not. And I have some crazy, amazing, fun days, right? Because I'll be sitting in the stadium, whether it's in Singapore or Tokyo or Shanghai, wherever I'm in the world, watching the greatest martial artists on planet compete in the one circle. And I'm right there, smack dab, cage side. And sometimes I'm like, man, I have the greatest job in the world. But still, invariably, okay, if you see him on fight day, and usually we have an evening show, I've already have trained. I trained in the afternoon or the morning already, and I have that high going into it. So it's just it's a commitment I have to myself, but it's also a love. It's just a genuine love. So that's why I feel that one has the most authentic roots, and one also has the most authentic connection with its athletes, because the leadership team, myself included, are all lifelong martial artists. And our mission of creating heroes from one and inspiring the world through our values, heroes, and stories, we have a very different approach to the fight game than any other promotion. Of course, I'm biased, but I believe we have the world's greatest world championship roster across every discipline. Out of the several hundred athletes we have, over 170 of them are world championship title holders from prior organizations at the pinnacle of the world before joining one in their prime. When you see, our American counterparts, a guy with 20 or 30 fights, wow, he's so experienced. Well, these Muay Thai world champions, it's like 300 fights, 400 fights. And so it kind of sometimes irks me when I hear some American commentators say, in the American organizations, where they're like, this is the world's greatest striker. No. 100% one championship has the world's greatest strikers, full stop, not even close. You look at the number of titles collectively, but just look at the number of wins and losses and the actual sheer number of fights. It's not even close.
No, I mean, and that I couldn't agree more. And that leads me on actually to not quite one championship, but it's the one thing I think you've created a buzz about recently, and everyone's asking about it. And we just spoke about it briefly before the start of this live stream, and that's obviously your invitation to become a promoter at Lumpinee Stadium, which is literally groundbreaking. And I'm sure it's a huge. I mean, I know I don't need to say sure. I mean, it's a huge honor for yourself to be invited to that. What did that invitation mean to you, and what can we expect from your involvement now at Lumpinee?
So, the first time I was introduced to Muay Thai was when I was a 9-year-old kid living in Thailand, and my father took me to Lumpinee Stadium. And at that moment, I remember walking to the stadium, the chanting, the cheering, the electricity in the air, the adrenaline, watching the beauty, the grace, the power of the Muay Thai athletes. Remember, this is the 80s golden era. And I was blown away. And I still remember that memory of my father. And so for my life to come full circle, be invited by the Royal Thai Army, who owns Lumpinee Stadium. And, it took me a while to accept the invitation. And here's why. The last 10 years or so, Muay Thai in Thailand has been going on a downward trend. Okay, viewership numbers, participation, you name it, money, all that stuff. It's because gambling has become so prolific that judges and referees are paid off routinely. Every week there's a scandal, in social media and news in Thailand of, this fight was, this guy should have won with a clear unanimous decision, but he lost because of the gamblers. If you notice, the first 1 and 2 rounds, they don't fight at all. And the fifth round, they don't fight at all. It's because of the gambler's influence. It's the gamblers exerting outside influence on the athletes. Like, if you're ahead, don't do anything. If you're losing and the gamblers want money, they'll wink at you and you don't do anything, even if you're losing. So you're not going to try to win the fight anymore. And it's become just a gambler's mecca, if you will. Now, I have nothing against gambling. I think gambling, betting on sports is totally fine. But what I have a problem with, and again, what's a structural problem in Thailand is, judges and referees are routinely paid off by gamblers, by promoters, etc. And The viewership numbers, hence, as the last 10 years have completely dropped off a cliff. And I tell you, in another 10 years, there would be no Muay Thai in Thailand. So the commander-in-chief, who's the most powerful man in the Royal Thai Army, and his generals invited me for a meeting. And they said, look, we want to revive Muay Thai and bring it to its glory days and even higher. We've been watching one for 3 years, and I had no idea they were watching one. We've been watching one for 3 years, studying it. And we realize it's, you keep the sport completely clean, and where, the winner is a winner and the loser is a loser. And it's a sport, a true sport, where justice and fairness, fair play is happens every day in one. And that's the exact 180 degrees opposite what we see in Thailand. And the military is literally saying to me, Chatri, we want you to come back to Thailand, come to Lumpinee. And at the time, Lumpinee, there was no fights in Lumpinee. All the promoters were kicked out, right? Because they wanted to shut down. I don't know if you know, the Royal Thai Army has a decree, no gamblers allowed inside Lumpinee Stadium anymore. They announced this 2 years ago. And no promoters would step up. And so I think as a last ditch effort, possibly, the Royal Thai Army invited me at the highest levels. I mean, this is not some junior guy. This is like literally the commander-in-chief who reports into His Highness and all that. And they said, Chatri, can you come back and revive? And I had to think 3, 4, 5 weeks, I remember, after I got the invitation, because I thought to myself, look, one is doing tremendously well. It's a global brand. It has already the world's greatest strikers on the planet. All the disciplines, right? We have mixed martial arts, we have Muay Thai, kickboxing, submission, grappling. We even had boxing world title fights. And I said, why would I want to come to Thailand when, the reputation of Muay Thai is in the dirt, even amongst Thais, and the corruption that exists. And I just thought, I'm building a phenomenal business, and my athletes are happy, my fans are happy, we're growing like crazy all over the world. There's no need. But ultimately, what really pulled me was, the general said to me, Chatri, you have an opportunity to give back to your country. You have an opportunity to unite 70 million people around the greatest treasure, cultural treasure of Thailand, which is Muay Thai, revive it, restore it. And you already have a global platform, so you can actually make Muay Thai out of Thailand the biggest it's ever been. So historically, Lumpinee or Rashtamern, the only televised broadcast was local. It would be on Channel 3, Channel 7, etc. And this is the first time where the idea is to do every Friday night fights in prime time in Thailand, but broadcast it around the world with all of our broadcast partners, because we're broadcast live in 154 countries, right? Our events at one. So just using our existing platform and just plugging it into Lumpinee and blasting it around the world, and suddenly Muay Thai on a weekly basis out of Thailand can be global. And, the military's mindset is, can we try to bring back the glory days of the golden era of the 80s and early 90s of Muay Thai in Thailand, where you had the greatest fighters, the greatest fights. Yes, there's gambling, but no one paid off judges or referees. And then do it on a global scale. So this was the mandate that literally the military asked me. And I thought about it, and the number one reason, rather, why I'm going to do this and why I've already, decided to do this is my memory of my father when I was 9 years old, my memory of my teacher, Kruyotong Senanan, who's the founder of Sityodtong Gym in Thailand, and a sense of national duty that I have to come back to my country and showcase the greatest and revive martial arts and show everybody you can build a very clean, corruption-free sports property in Thailand, showcasing the greatest fighters on the planet and beam across the world. And that is my mandate. And of course, do I have some concerns? Because there is definitely corruption that exists. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But rather than sit here and see one champion succeed around the world, but then Muay Thai die out in the next 10 years in Thailand, I thought I have to step in and revive everything and bring it to the world-class level and really build the foundation of integrity from the ground up in Thailand at Lumpinee Stadium, which is obviously, everyone knows, Lumpinee Stadium is the mecca of Muay Thai. It is, where the greatest world champions came from, the greatest fights in history, when you look at the sport of Muay Thai. And believe it or not, the military was very, very close to shutting down Lumpinee forever and tearing it down. So if I had not said yes, I think Lumpinee Stadium, maybe 3 months, 6 months more later, they might have tore it down completely, because that was literally in the works. One of the major generals was like, Lumpinee's days are over. We're going to shut it down and tear it down. And the commander in chief, had other thoughts, and so did a few other generals. And then they invited me, and I think 4 or 5 weeks later, I accepted. And then a month after that, we had that big press conference in Thailand with 1,300 business leaders, government leaders, military leaders, Muay Thai leaders, every major promoter, every major gym, all the athletes. I mean, everyone is the biggest press conference in the history of combat sports in Thailand. Literally a who's who of the most powerful, influential leaders of our community. And I was really surprised that everyone showed up in droves to support One Lumpinee. And, January 20th, when we launch, it will mark the new era of Muay Thai in Thailand. And mark my words, it will be the greatest era in the history of Muay Thai, full stop, ever, ever, ever. And that's my commitment.
I mean, wow, it's amazing to hear you talk about like that. And you actually answer a lot of questions that, have been floating around. I guess, people wondering what it is you were going to be doing, how prolific the gambling had become, how you were going to deal with that going forward. So, I mean, there have been people who've been asking, I've been putting out on social media that I was going to have the pleasure of speaking to you. And I said, does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask? And there was a lot of questions, obviously, around what you've just said. I mean, I'll just scroll down. I wrote a few down just to...
Well, again, UK and Europe obviously are hotbeds of Muay Thai, but you guys really don't know, as Farangs, you don't really know what's on ground in Thailand. And I'm telling you, Thai people are sick and tired of the way Muay Thai is the last 10 years. It's like it's a cancer. Many of the, and I don't want to name names, but many of the current leaders are cancerous to the sport, because they don't care. All they care about is gambling that night and paying off a judge and referee and making money off of it. And that is the sad state. And literally viewership numbers have been on a decline for like 10 years straight. And nobody watches it in Thailand anymore. Nobody. But guess what? The last 5 years since I launched One Super Series with Muay Thai, it's become the most popular, by far, the most popular Muay Thai program in Thailand, full stop. Everybody in Thailand watches One Championship. Why? Because it's not only the best fighters on the planet, but it's 100% clean. And Thai people miss that. They miss the joy of the drama, the anticipation, the suspense of two amazing athletes coming in and giving it their all from round 1 to round 5, first second to the last second of the entire fight, fighting with all their hearts. You'll not see a fight in Thailand right now under the current system. You see first round, they don't do anything. Second round, they do nothing. Fifth round, they do nothing. And they're always looking around up at the gamblers for instructions, or the promoter even for instructions. For should I lose this fight or should I win this fight? Oh, I'm ahead, or oh, I'm losing. Okay, I shouldn't win anymore. Okay, so I'll just dance for 5 on the 5th round. Like it's sorry to say, it's become a joke. So, and I think, again, the Royal Thai Army owns Lumpinee Stadium. They actually they are the birth of Muay Thai. If you look back history, right? It's the Royal Thai Army that really gave birth to Muay Thai as we know it, Lumpinee and Rashtraman as we know it, right? And again, the commander-in-chief just felt like we have to revive Muay Thai the right way. And they did it without me, right? 2 years ago, they said, no more gamblers allowed in Lumpinee Stadium. But the problem when they said that is then no promoters wanted to be a part of it. And then they ended up asking me to come. And then now everybody, all the promoters, all the sponsors are all now clamoring to go into Lumpinee, which is kind of funny. After that press conference, it ignited a firestorm back onto the how can I say, the right way to do things.
Well, I can imagine now that, the fact that you're able to bring this platform, to help develop and showcase Muay Thai on a global stage is completely reignited, the drive and the passion of people to see it done, like you've just said, the right way. I mean,
Yeah.
you've answered a
I
lot
mean,
of you've.
look, when I was 19 years old, I've been doing at that time maybe Muay Thai for around 6 years, but very seriously. And the thing that really always saddened me about Muay Thai was how you could have a Rashtraman world champion, a Lumpinee world champion, and after they retired, they ended up becoming tuk-tuk drivers, dirt poor again. And they came from dirt poor families with unbelievable life stories to achieve, to become the best in the world in Muay Thai, only to be ripped off by promoters or gym owners or whatever you want to call it. And some of it, of course, irresponsible spending of money, but they always ended up poor. And, I was just in Thailand last week giving a bunch of media interviews. And I don't know if you guys saw the news, but at one next year, Muay Thai world champion in one's organization will be paid in the highest in the world, 4 to 6 million baht, which is $100,000 to $150,000, and a minimum of, right? And today, Rashtraman or Lumpinee, they're paying 100,000, 200,000 baht a fight. That's it. Whereas, one is paying literally, 20x, 50x that, and making sure that our athletes can buy houses and for their parents and themselves and cars and buy land and have millions of baht in the bank, and be wealthy when they retire. This is a big personal aim of mine. It's deeply personal. I have many, many, many friends who, I was never an elite competitor, but I have many, many friends who won world titles and all that at all the amazing stadiums, etc., ended up flat broke because they never made any money, or if they did make money, promoters or gym owners cheated them. And that's just a sad reflection of the history of Muay Thai, to be honest. And I feel like with my Muay Thai background under Kru Yotong Senanan, and I got very lucky in life. I may never have been a phenomenal athlete or anything, but I have been doing Muay Thai for a long, 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 long time. And it is my greatest love, and I want to be able to change what I see is wrong. And when this opportunity literally fell on my lap, the military said, "Chatri, can you come back? Can you come back home? Can you come back to Lumpinee? Can you do it?" And I had to think long and hard. And it's not economics, because one championship is doing fine without having to go to Lumpinee. It is 100% from my heart that I want to clean up the sport, raise it to global standards, so that everybody in Thailand, Thai promoters, Thai gym owners, and Thai athletes can make more money than they ever imagined, out of one Lumpinee in Thailand. Now, we do have an international product in one Lumpinee as well. So it's not just Thai athletes that I care about. I'm making $100 million investment from, around the world in Muay Thai in the coming years. We have Road to One partners, which is basically feeder leagues into one all over the world, every continent. And this is something I'm very, very serious about taking Muay Thai to heights never seen before, that Muay Thai athletes all over the world can earn phenomenal money where they are wealthy. When they retire, if you are a superstar, you'll be wealthy. And that is my dream. My dream is that. And obviously one already pays the highest in the world in all the disciplines, but coming back home to Thailand is I'm doing it because I love my country.
I can completely see that, and historically, even like when you set up Evolve MMA, you were trying to help those Muay Thai fighters and athletes who spoke about who'd been left with next to no money have a way of having a way of not only earning money but preparing for their futures beyond the fights in Thailand. So I can see that completely. That's what you've been about since it started. I mean, going forward, this
no, you're absolutely right. So Evolve, which I own as well, pays the highest in the world for instructors. All my instructors, I think I have about 70 instructors now, all of them decorated jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai world champions, etc. The minimum pay at Evolve now is $5,000 US plus housing. our top instructors make $15,000 a month. So, at a minimum, you're probably making $80,000 a year at Evolve as an instructor. And if you're really good, you're making $180,000 a year. And Evolve is by far the largest martial arts school standalone in Asia. And that's how I can afford it. But my formula for Evolve is the same. It's like unless you're very clear about what your personal mission is in life and what you really want to do in life, you will be blown by the wind. But if you know clearly what you want to do, so when I set up Evolve, and even the name Evolve, why is a company called the name Evolve? Because I want everybody to evolve into everything they can be in life, whether it's our students, our instructors, our fighters, our staff. And we have a community outreach program with orphans and orphanages and whatnot. That's why I called it Evolve. And because I had that deep sense of mission, I made sure at every step of the way that Evolve paid the highest in the world. Because if I'm serious about changing people's lives, of course I could pay, like every other martial arts school, I could pay $2,000 a month for an instructor, bare bones minimum. I just don't believe in that. I believe that then I'm no different than what I saw when I was a kid in Thailand, right? People who take advantage of people who are less fortunate, who happen to be superstar athletes. So all our Muay Thai world champions, they're retired, highly decorated, 5-time, 3-time, 2-time Lumpinee Stadium champion, whatever it may be, and they are paid very handsomely, very handsome. As I said, low end is 80,000, high end is 180,000, and all of them are rich now. All of them, all of them send money home and live very comfortable lives. Their parents, their kids, their wives, their houses and cars and everything in Thailand. And that makes me really deeply happy. And so when I had the chance to start one, I have the exact same mindset. I want to do something that truly changes the world, that truly elevates the martial arts community, that inspires everyone to dream more, do more, and be more in life. And most importantly is give people real opportunities instead of worrying about, every penny for myself or whatever it is. I just never had that mindset. And it's probably because I learned from my master, right? I mean, Kruyotong Sananan was that way. And, to this day, I have only one car, a Toyota, and I have, one watch, a G-Shock watch. If I wanted to go today, it's tonight right now, but if I want to go tomorrow morning, I want to go to Ferrari, auto dealership and buy 10 Ferraris on the spot, I could do it. But that does not bring me true fulfillment or happiness with my life. Like driving a fast car to show off to people how rich I am just is not what I want to do in my life. I'd rather invest those millions and build a new academy or invest millions in expanding one or, paying a higher roster or building a new product like One Lumpinee, where I know I'm going to change athletes' lives. I know that I'm going to, inspire fans through our heroes and their stories and their values. And it's a deeply personal mission to me. It's not about money. What I'm doing is giving my life so that people see the beauty of martial arts, so that I'm able to uplift the martial arts community around the world. This is my ultimate thing. So, I think it's very important for anyone, especially if you're an entrepreneur, think deeply about what do you want to do with your life. What truly is your mission? And there's nothing wrong, by the way. If you want to own 10 Ferraris because you love cars, no problem. If you want to make a shitload of money and that's your mission, no problem. I just know myself. Like I live for a higher meaning, for a higher purpose, just because that's how I'm built. I'm built ever since I was a kid. I've been a very philosophical guy. I'm always philosophical. I read about Marcus Aurelius. I read about Aristotle, Socrates. I obviously was very influenced by my master, Muay Thai master. Outside of my parents, he's the greatest influence in my life. Long days and nights talking about philosophy with him. I'm just a very philosophical person, and I just don't believe in material things and whatnot. I really believe in trying to do my best, and the reality is I'm very lucky. Okay, because I also came from poverty, right? I mean, obviously, when I was a kid, I was born in a well-to-do household. But with the Asian financial crisis, my father lost everything and abandoned the family, and we're in Thailand, and I became dirt poor, living on 1 meal a day. So I feel very blessed to be the position I am, and I think deeply about why am I so lucky, and if I'm lucky, what does that mean? And I'm very lucky that I live with passion and purpose every day, very clear about what I love and what I want to do with my life. And it's no different. That's literally why One Lumpinee was born. I'm going to go back to Thailand, and you will see, mark my words, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now, everyone in the industry will make a shitload more money, promoters, gym owners, and athletes. And you'll see I have elevated the livelihoods of my fellow brothers and sisters in the Muay Thai community all over the world, and where they are respected, well taken care of, superstar athletes who don't have to have a second or third job, where it's a truly professional sport like soccer or whatever it is. And that's my mission, and I'm going to make it happen. And I'm 1,000% committed to it.
Well, I mean, I have no doubts. I've known you long enough to know that you set goals and you get those goals and you make new ones, and it's all down to, like you just said, it's a vision of the good that you want to do, not the money that you make, and that doesn't look like a graph in business, because it's that's not what you focused on. You focused on the long game, the positive change that you make. I mean, just to finish with Lumpinee, then, because Lumpinee, and what that entails, it would be enough for any one person, but you've got, then obviously you're adding that to a whole heap of different.
So obviously, So obviously, I am the biggest promoter in Lumpinee. Obviously, One Champion is the biggest platform in the world for Muay Thai, but I'm talking about all different martial arts, right? In One Lumpinee, you will see, Thai cards that are all Thai, but you'll also see cards that are international, that are mini versions of one, where you'll see MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, you'll see submission, grappling, etc. And
So you'll
and
see
everything
that,
world class.
you'll see that at Lumpinee.
Yes. So you're going to see every Friday, you're going to see 2 separate cards. One is an international card broadcast around the world, which is a mini version of what you see in one, all the different martial arts, highest levels in the world. Another version, a card is going to be dedicated to the Thai market, to light up Thailand. And I'll be announcing the broadcaster, my broadcast partner, in the next 3 weeks or so, and it'll blow people away. But that will be to revive Thailand and show how it's done. We're bringing international referees and judges from around the world into Lumpinee every week, rotating, so that there is no corruption. You can't pay. There's no, Thai guy, wink, wink, and, you pay because he's your brother-in-law, or it's another Thai guy, or whatever it is, and the Thai promoter. No. We have international world-class standards, and that's who's going to be running the shows. Of course, the athletes will be from all over the world, including Thailand. But the idea, again, is to bring the one brand home to Thailand, but to really elevate everything: weigh-in system, hydration, judging, refereeing, athletes' well-being, all the stuff we do at One, our global property, will be in One Lumpinee, and One Lumpinee will pay the highest by far in Thailand, at least 50% higher than every other promotion in Thailand, like for like. So if you have, a given fighter, I'll just use an example. Let's just say it's, Sam A, and he's getting paid X by other Thai promoters in Thailand. He'd be paying, 1.5X by us, same fighter, in Thailand. And why are we doing this? We want to raise the bar for money for promoters, gym owners, and fighters. And of course, if you perform well in One Lumpinee, you get a ticket up to one. And then you make millions of baht, and then it's not even comparable. But the idea, again, is I know what's at stake, and I know what's on my shoulders. The global Muay Thai industry is on my shoulders right now. The Thai Muay Thai industry is on my shoulders. I've given my word to the Royal Thai Army, to the Commander-in-Chief. Mark my words. Give me 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You see this. It's going to be the biggest moment in the history of Muay Thai. and I'm going to use all my powers. And again, I'm lucky in that, yes, I'm a lifelong martial artist, but I've been doing business for 25 years. I got very lucky. I went to the #1 business school in the world at Harvard to get where I got my MBA. So it's not like I don't know what I'm doing on both sides, whether it's martial arts or business. I'm an expert. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm just telling you that I've dedicated, and I'm a very intense person. If I'm going to do something, I want to be the best in the world. I don't do something to be half-assed. So on business side, I can tell you, I know what I'm doing. On the martial arts side of things, I know what I'm doing. For 38 years, I've been a student, a competitor, a teacher, a coach, and now a CEO in martial arts. I know what I'm doing. So it's like in this domain, whether it's business or martial arts, I know what I'm doing. So, and I don't believe that to be the truth when I look at what's happening in Thailand.
No, I completely have no doubts in you because again, there's nothing that you've got. Everything that you've done says that you're capable of doing what other people haven't been able to do or don't want to do. And like, I genuinely believe you're going to do great things at Lumpinee. Especially because I know how much it means to you. I know how much you're going to put into it personally. I mean that kind of brings me
See,
onto.
man, every time I talk to you, I get inspired because you say you always give me positive energy. It doesn't matter. Like you'll make a simple comment on Instagram, and you're always sending positive energy my way. And I'm always sending it your way as well. But I really appreciate it, Stu. You have no idea. Like little things like that give me even more fire to make sure. Yes, I am going back to Thailand. Yes, I'm going back to Lumpinee. It's personal for me, deeply personal, because my father again and everything else, and my master Kuyotong Sananan, and obviously me as a Thai. But obviously having friends and supporters that are fellow lifelong martial artists like you, it means a lot. It just gives me that much more fire in my belly to make sure that I make sure I succeed for everyone. And I want everybody in the UK, if you're a young athlete, to know that your future secure. If you're amongst the best in the world, you will make millions of dollars. Full stop. Gone are the days of you making 5,000 pounds for a fight and you won a quote unquote world title. Gone are those days. Gone.
Well,
And that's my pledge to every martial arts in the world, not just Muay Thai, but we're doing for submission grappling, we're doing for MMA, we're doing, so kickboxing.
Well, I know a lot of people that are going to be happy to hear that. And again, the positive energy is, it's more than deserved because you're such an inspirational individual. Ever since I first met you, everything that you've said today, I've known ever since the first day we've met. How much you focus on martial arts, how much the money and the material goods don't mean anything to you. And I'm a huge believer in martial arts about benefiting people, and I love the fact that you've taken what I do on a very small level to the nth degree, and that's having impacts globally, and now it's going to revitalize Lumpinee, which is a legendary stadium. If you ask any fighter from the UK about world titles, the only one that any of them are concerned about is Lumpinee or Rajanamnern. And then even then, it's not just about the title. It's okay, who have you fought? Who have you beat? It's not the title. It's
Yep.
who are you? How did you get
Yep.
there?
Yep.
So I'm hugely looking forward to seeing what you do with Lumpinee, and everything that you've just said there has answered a lot of the questions that have been floating around, and I'm really excited. And like I said, just before we started this live stream, that first Lumpinee event on the 20th in Bangkok is definitely one that I would love to get out there for. So I'm going to be touching wood.
Yep.
I'm going to be touching wood to get over there for that.
I just saw the card for One Lumpinee's first show, Giant. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be there ringside, and I'm gonna be enjoying the fights because there's some sick fights.
I've no doubt whatsoever. So if going back to one, and it's still been one with one Lumpinee, but going back to the one championship and the focus there. Recently, well, not that long ago, you started to put some of the shows on Amazon Prime. Now that's no small achievement and no small collaboration. how did that come about, and what are the plans with that then? Because actually, what you've done there is given mainstream kind of credibility to martial arts as a sport, mixed martial arts, because that's not been achieved before.
Yeah,
We've not seen anything like that
yeah,
on such a mainstream streaming
yeah.
channel.
Yeah, I mean, the Amazon deal is probably 18 months in the making, but this year alone, we've announced a deal with Amazon, with Bein Sports, which is the number one broadcaster in sports in the Middle East with 55 million subscribers. So Amazon has 200 million subscribers, Bein has 55 million, and then Globo, which is the largest player in Brazil and Latin America with 200 million viewers. Um, and the idea, again, is continuing to grow our footprint and exposure for the one brand, but also for our one athlete. So, whether it's sponsorship opportunities, whether it's actual fight pay, the opportunities are going to be bigger and bigger for our athletes. But yeah, I mean, for Amazon, which only has 5 sports products by the way in the US, they have NFL, Major League Baseball. I can't remember the other two, and then one. They're making a really big bet, and we're on Friday prime time, 8:30 p.m. start, right, in America. We'll shoot out of Asia in the morning, which we have been in the last 3 shows. But the crazy thing is, several weeks ago when we had our Amazon debut, we were number 1 on Twitter in the US, number 1 on Twitter worldwide during the show. And simultaneously that weekend, we were number 1 in China on Weibo, Kuaishou, and Douyin, which is the Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok of China. There's no sports property that has ever done that, right? Where you're number 1 trending social media topic in both America and China in different languages in opposite sides of the world. Like, other than Olympics, I don't know of any other. I mean, I know that if you won the F1, you would resonate in certain parts of Europe, but not necessarily all over the world. If you won, maybe a World Cup, you could still do that. That would do the same thing. But it is very, very, very hard. And I held a company meeting right after that thing that happened in Amazon. I said, guys, do you realize what's happened? And of course, Nielsen came out with the industry report of the 20 largest sports properties in the world, right? And we came in at number 5 in terms of viewership and engagement across all platforms, TV, digital, and social. And I said, how do you trend number 1 on Twitter, US, number 1 on Twitter worldwide, and on top of it, how do you trend number 1 on social media in all of China, 1.4 billion people? Well, the first thing, and you need 2 things happening in equal parts. One is you have to have the masses watching or caring about. There's enough people watching that they'll be tweeting or writing on social media at the same time, right? That's how you end up being viral, number 1. But equally important, your belt has to be the Olympic gold medal. Because if it was a Mickey Mouse belt, no one would care. But the fact that the Chinese government came out and said, wow, China, we won our first world title in 1. This is literally, by the way, Chinese government, central government. And obviously in the US, when DJ won the world title, he got knocked out by Adriano Moraes a year ago, and then he won by KO, and he won the title after being 4 years in 1. He's really struggled in 1 relative to when he was at the UFC. And DJ, mind you, is in his prime. He's fully in his prime. And it was just a really incredible moment. And obviously, since then, we've gone from strength to strength. But again, I think our viewership numbers now are so large, and our growth rates are literally still exponential. Every week I get the data across every country. We're live in 154 countries. This just means more opportunity, more dollars, more fame, more eyeballs, more everything for all athletes today and in the future. And this is why I'm saying, for all those young UK athletes who are dreaming of being in one of the world's largest martial arts organization, making millions of dollars and living a great life, the dream is here. It's here. There's no doubt in my mind that the money, the pay scale will continue to rise in the years to come. There's no question. You're starting to see, it's just the very beginning of the one story. And obviously we pay the highest in the world already, but I can just see from our own numbers that this is just the beginning.
I mean, the growth has been exponential. Obviously, I remember coming to the, a one championship event in Singapore, would have been 6 years ago now, and you know, it was a sold out arena at that point in Singapore. And, you know, I remember having a conversation with you at that point, and it was still in its infancy in some of the countries. And actually what you were doing was you were almost kind of helping the countries understand what MMA was, what it entails, and really invest in the development of not only the grassroots side of it, but also encouraging
You
people
know
to.
what I love? You know, I've you know, like I told you, this last 40 days I've been traveling all over the world. And whenever I stop by a Muay Thai academy or Jiu-Jitsu academy, you know, the owners will be like, "Thank you so much, man. My student base is double, triple, quadrupled because of one, and all my students watch it every weekend or whatever it is, right?" And or that's why people walk into their gym in the first place, and that makes me super happy, really happy, knowing that in my small and humble way that I'm helping, you know, gym owners, especially after COVID. You know, COVID has been obviously devastating for people, but like the fact that I'm able to make a positive impact by just putting on an incredible product that showcases the very best in the world in martial arts, but that in of itself inspires normal people to just be like, you know what, I want to go try Muay Thai, or I want to try Jiu-Jitsu, or I want to try MMA. Let me go Google my, you know, an academy nearby me and join it, right? So yeah, that brings that every country I go to, whenever I go train, they tell me that I'm happy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I travel quite a lot. Nothing, I don't travel nothing like as much as you, but I do travel, and I go. I spend a lot of time in gyms, you know, because of what I do with coach and stuff. So I do understand that completely, and I hear a lot of the same things. And actually, you know, it's funny when I put these questions out, there's even parents now asking me to ask you. And I'll ask a couple of these questions now, actually, which is really nice, actually, because parents, you know, you've kind of crossed over a barrier when parents of children are asking you questions with these children
Yes.
in mind. So one of them has asked if you have any plans to launch anything for younger martial arts talents or younger athletes in the future. Is that anything that's on the radar?
So, you know, obviously in Thailand, kids start fighting from they're 5, 6 years old and up. But the rest of the world, it's not as widely accepted by governments and whatnot. So, you know, maybe an amateur league is possible with kids, but to have professionals with full contact, no pads and stuff, I think that is a long ways off, just because the Western world would never accept it, and we would never want to enforce our culture onto somebody else's culture. Now, obviously, in Thailand, it's the norm, and you are seeing kids from around the world coming to live in Thailand as a result, and they start competing professionally at 10, 12, 14 years old. I see that a lot now. You know, their parents are from the UK or France, and they just relocate to the States. Relocate to Thailand because they want their kids to live their dreams. Who knows in the future? I don't know. But right now, there are no concrete plans of a professional circuit for kids. Amateur is very, very possible. You know, we're always investing in all the different martial arts disciplines we promote in one all over the world. So, you know, it's definitely very possible.
And another common question actually is, you mentioned earlier on, and I know that you're now linking in with different shows around the world as roads to one. Muay Thai Grand Prix in the UK, Muay Thai World Cup in Canada. But what a lot of people have asked, have you any plans to do a full one championship show that you set up yourself in the UK or Europe, or in the States? Is that something that you?
Yeah. No. Definitely, definitely. You know, tentatively, our plan is, again, in 3 to 5 years, we'd love to do 50 live events out of Asia, primetime on ground in Asia, Tokyo, Beijing, Seoul, you know, Bangkok, et cetera, et cetera. We'd like to do 50 live primetime events on ground in Europe, so London, Paris, et cetera, and 50 live events on ground in America, so and Latin America included, so that there's 3 distinct time zones getting prime time, the very, very best world championship athletes on the planet. You know, that is my vision, at least my midterm vision right now for our company. And, you know, our board of directors, I just had a board of directors meetings today with my shareholders and whatnot. And this is the vision that I painted. And you know, knock on wood that if things go right and we don't have COVID, another thing, you know, something crazy like that, then we will have, you know, a truly primetime live footprint in each region of the world on ground, so that people can experience, touch and feel the one championship show every weekend right in front of their eyes, and enjoy it.
Well, that sounds amazing. You know, and it's such a big vision, and you know, with anyone else, I'd be like, yeah, well, that's gonna. But with you, I know that's just a case of, yeah, you're on the road.
So 150, right? So next year we will be doing almost 70 events, around close to 70 events. So halfway to 150.
And you know, again, another question that people ask. Well, I'll ask you a couple that have been put. How much of a fan are you? Do you still enjoy watching all the events that you put on? And if so, who are the fighters or athletes, because you do multiple rule sets now, that you really like to watch at the moment?
Yo, absolutely am I a fan. You know, again, martial arts is my greatest love. I live and breathe it every day. That's why I pinch myself. I can't even believe this is my job. Okay. So, you know, when I'm sitting cage and I see Liam Harrison, that one fight, I forget, I think it was Muay Thai, right? Or I can't remember. I think it was Muay Thai, where there was 5 knockdowns in the first round and Liam ends up winning that fight. You know, I was there and I'm like, it's just crazy, you know, and I think I gave him $100,000 bonus for that. But definitely Liam's one of my favorite fighters, full stop. He brings the heat every time. It's kill or be killed, and obviously has the most beautiful technique and explosiveness and speed that very, very few people have in this world. Of course, I love Tawan Chai. He's smooth, he's slick. He reminds me of a young version of Samat Pakarun. I love the Rule Tola brothers in grappling, Cade and Ty. Explosive, dynamic, slick, highly, highly technical world champion grapplers, the best of the best in the world. Kickboxing, I think Superbon is a total beast, but I also think Chingiz Alasov, you know, I still think Giorgio Petrosian ranks amongst the best in history. You know, mixed martial arts, Demetrius Johnson is still one of my favorites. I think Christian Lee, Angela Lee. I think in mixed martial arts, I think there's just so many names, you know, but yeah, I'm a fan. So this coming Saturday, we have an event, we have a doubleheader, a morning show to Amazon, live prime time to America at night, and then a night show, live prime time to Asia. And I sit cage side, and sometimes I sit there literally, and I'm like, I can't believe this is my job. Like, I'm just watching fights. And my team, I have an incredible team, matchmaking team that puts all the matchmaking together. And of course, I review everything, but my team does all the hard work. And obviously, the biggest fights or whatever, then I'll do myself together with my team. But for the most part, 95% of all the cards that are made by my team.
And they do such an amazing job. I mean, I've just pulled up the card for the prime time this Friday. Yeah. You got Christian Lee on there, Rod Tang, Joseph Lasiria, Bibiano Fernandez, Cosmo Alexandre, yep. Juan Cervantes, Jonathan Haggerty, Liam Nolan, Eddie Abasolo, Daniel Kelly. So, you know, this is it. It's like, it's no wonder it's so hard for you to pick fighters when the cards are so stacked. No,
this card, I think every fight's going to end by KO or submission. I mean, it's just, we already have the highest submission rate. We have the highest finish rate of any more organization. I mean, I'm talking about compared to UFC and Bellator. Those are other two global organizations, right? UFC has around 40-45% finish rate. So does Bellator. We have a 70% finish rate. And I think it's because of two things. One is we recruit the very, very best athletes on the planet from every discipline, but we look for the most exciting fighters. And, you know, as you know, Stu, you can be phenomenal at fighting, but you don't have that killer instinct. You'll never get signed to one. You'll never get signed. Or if you get signed to one, you won't last very long. But if you're like Liam Harrison, okay, and I think that's great, where he's unbelievable technique, beautiful technique, but he has a killer instinct, literally kill or be killed mindset. And he's an 8-time world champion already. He has nothing to prove. Of course, he still wants to win the belt, and that would be his biggest achievement, crowning achievement in his entire career if he wins the one belt. He had bad luck against Nongo, the first fight, right? His knee got jacked off the first kick. But he is an example of the kind of fighter I love. Or Demetrius Johnson, for Demetrius Johnson to stand toe-to-toe with Rotang in that super fight, remember that mixed rules? DJ could have easily just run around circles and played safe for first round. No, he stood in the pocket with Rotang, one of the most dangerous KO strikers in the world. And he told me before the fight, by the way, I said, DJ, what's the strategy? You're going to run and bore the crowd? No, sir. I'm going to stand right there, and I'm going to show him my Muay Thai. And he actually did it. So this is what I mean. Why did we all learn martial arts? And what is the ultimate essence of martial arts, okay? It's to be able to defend yourself in a self-defense situation. And when martial arts was invented 1,000 years ago, okay, it was to defend yourself in a life or death situation. So it means you have to finish your opponent. That was ultimately what martial arts. It's not like a point system, right? Today you have, and again, I'm not going to name which martial arts, but some things are like pitter patter, no power, just touching each other, you win, and you're a world champion. That, I'm sorry, is not martial arts. That is watered down so that you can sell more memberships, unfortunately. I don't believe in that. I believe that you have to be pure to the arts first, and then second business. Just like the way I run one or the way I run Evolve. Anybody who signs up at Evolve knows they are getting authentic martial arts, real life training, real life learning, real life technique and skills. And applicable in the ring, in the academy, on the mats, or in the street, or in competition. That's very important to me. And so the fighters that won at tracks are people who don't play a game. They are there to fight. Now, if you compare us to other organizations, a lot of times what you'll see in other organizations is they play a game. 10 seconds left, let me go do a takedown and try to win the round, because it's a 10-point must system. So they do a takedown, do a delay and pray. Then they end up winning the fight because of decision. That's not fighting to me. That's not martial arts. That's playing a game. That's like tag. That's like hide and seek. Tag, you're it. Hide and seek. It's a game. Martial arts is not supposed to be a game. It's supposed to be, a combat approach to a structured combat approach to self-defense situation. So why does one have a 70% finish rate? It's because of the athletes we attract are the best in the world with a killer instinct. And two, our global rule set doesn't allow, and the scoring system, right? The criteria is not on a, even in Muay Thai, the number one thing is KO or near KO. Number two is damage. So let's say the fight is close, it's an all-out war. The person who's wearing the most damage will lose, because it means in a real fight you got tagged a lot more, and the other guy was able to evade, yeah, one is the home of martial arts, and I think that's why it's resonating all over the world, and why, we are now bigger than UFC in terms of viewership numbers on TV and social and digital. We're bigger than UFC. I mean, you can see the stats. I have the Nielsen numbers on my Instagram. If everyone wants to go to my Instagram, you can just see it and swipe left, and you can see the charts.
I've actually got your Instagram ready to
wow, you're prepared, Stu.
Yeah,
you're prepared.
I am prepared. So I'll just pull it up here. I was actually watching this Joe Rogan clip before, actually, and that does, that's everything that you've just been saying there. Is him saying nothing but positive things about yourself, one championship, but this is obviously your Instagram feed, and this is the stats,
Nielsen data,
the data that you were talking about. 406 million broadcast reach in 2021, which is crazy numbers, and this as well is what you were talking about with regards to China, isn't it? This was
a few weeks ago when he won the world title. Literally several thousand people in China showed up. The central government, blasted all over. We finally won the one belt, and Tan Kai came home like a hero, man. He like, look at this, it's crazy, And that's what it means to a country of 1.4 billion that Tankai won the belt and won. And that makes me proud. To be honest, that makes me proud, man. It's like, I only started this company 10 plus years ago, right? About 10 and a half, 11 years ago. And, we're neck and neck with people like EPL and Champions League and NBA and F1 in terms of viewership numbers. Yeah.
I mean, every time, like, there's just little posts here that just signify so much in just a single photo. It's like this one, and this was is this the stock exchange in the States?
This is in New York. So this is crazy too. Like, I didn't plan it. No one planned it. I gave an interview to New York Stock Exchange. Like, I don't know, a few months ago, they asked an interview me. I said, sure, I'll do it. Then, they post this on their socials, like, congratulations, one. I think it was our Amazon deal or something. And literally all over New York Stock Exchange is the one logo with Amazon Prime. They surprised me, and then the head of Asia calls me, or rather, I posted this photo on LinkedIn or something. Then he pings me and goes, I have more surprises for you. And then outside of Times Square, they also put the one logo. And so we didn't know this was happening. We didn't ask for it. This New York Stock Exchange.
I think we're having a few technical issues. Oh, I'm sure we'll get him back in a second. So, guys, for those of you watching, I hope you're enjoying this live stream so far with Chatri. It is late over there. Hi, Chatri. I just explained it.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know, but it's always the way with the internet. Who knows what's going on? But
yes.
But yeah, you were just mentioning about the stock exchange and
no. So New York Stock Exchange. I mean, they surprised us with it, right? I had no idea they were going to put this all over the platform of the New York Stock Exchange, but also outside in Times Square, they put a whole one logo thing. And obviously, they're trying to woo us for business because they know, the future plans is for one to list IPO in America on New York Stock Exchange is one of our main, one of the main options we have. But still, it was very kind of them to do this, to celebrate the Amazon Prime, our U.S. entry into America. But that was, again, a total surprise. I had no idea that was coming.
Well, I know we're getting really late, and I don't want to keep you up for too long, so I'm just going to ask you a couple more questions, just because I've got you. So again, another question I get asked all the time, and I don't even know why I get asked it, but I think it's because obviously people have seen that I've been to one championship, and obviously we know each other. Is how does a fighter or an athlete get signed to one? I mean, I've said it a few times, but I think sometimes it's easier if you explain it. Coming from yourself, it will have a lot more gravitas.
So we have scouts all over the world. Literally, when I mean all over the world, I have a list of, athletes that we are actively scouting at any given point in time. So in any discipline, whether it's grappling or MMA or kickboxing or Muay Thai, etc., we know all the athletes all over the world. And some athletes we look at and we're like, this has real potential, but he or she didn't have the killer instinct. Or this person's technical level is just not there. A beautiful record, strong record, but it's a padded record, right? There's a lot of things that go into this. And genuinely, we want to find the best in the world. We want to find future world champions in any discipline, or current world champions who are looking to take the next leap and go to the highest level of their careers, or highest level in the world in terms of competing. Because, let's say you're a Muay Thai fighter. Once you arrive in the stage of one, there are no easy fights. You will be fighting the toughest, monsters and beasts, whether you're female or male, on the entire planet, right? And you have to be obviously ready at that point. You can't come in and think it's let me just try it out. No, if you're in that mindset, you're done. Your dream has to be your obsession, and your dream has to be, I want to be in one. I want to be a world champion in one, and you must be obsessed, because if you're not, I'm telling you, every athlete in one is, because they know. So just to give you stats, we go through 10,000 athletes every year. We give up 50, only 50 offers a year. 10,000 athletes around the world, we give up 50 a year. Obviously, our roster is several hundred people, right? Several hundred athletes. But you have athletes dropping off from retirement or from losses, or they just realize they couldn't make it anymore in one, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have incoming 50, right? A new 50. But we scour through 10,000 athletes to get those to 50. So it is the best of the best, elite of the elite. But it's also, like I said, you have to have the killer instinct. You know that $50,000 bonus I give, or in Liam's case, I gave a $100,000 bonus to him, right? For that one fight where there's 5 knockdowns. And I say this, one is to win the $50,000. I always give a backstage speech to the athletes beforehand. So to win this $50,000, one, anybody can win it, and you can win it unlimited amount of times, and all the fighters could win it that night if they delivered. One is exhibiting technique at the highest levels in the world. So if you have beautiful technique and you're able to maintain that technique throughout the fight, that's already a huge plus for me. Because sometimes you get rocked and you lose your balance and you don't look good and you already lost it, right? Second, equally important is that at any given moment in time, you're ready to finish the fight. Nothing frustrates me more than some fighter who goes after fight, gets the guy hurt or her hurt, and you're literally just a good combination away from finishing the fight, but they back off and they dance and they want to score the points and just, cruise control. You'll never win a bonus, and you will not last long in one as well. And this is what I mean. Like, why am I so tough as a boss? Because I'm going to pay the high. I mean, I already do. I pay the highest in the world. So like anything else in life, like in any job function, right? If you're going to be the best chief marketing officer, the best PR executive, the best doctor, you're going to get paid the big bucks because you're the best in the world. Same thing. I'm not looking for people who want to try Muay Thai or kickboxing or MMA. I want people who are obsessed that this is what they were put on the planet for. They are willing to sacrifice everything for their dream. They are here with the most beautiful technique in the world because they perfected their craft. They're so obsessed, but they have a killer instinct. They come to every fight to finish the fight. They're not here to play a game. They're not here to score points. They are here to finish the fight. And that's why one is so exciting. That's why it's growing all over the world, because our fans look at it and go, shucks, these are the best in the world, and there's a 70% finish rate. Liam Harrison goes in there against Nong O, puts himself in the line of fire. He knows he's in the line of fire against one of the greatest Muay Thai champions in history. He's not dancing, trying to buy time. In the first round, he's going for, in his mind, after he got kicked in the leg, he was going to load up on that left hook and try to knock Nong O out. Kill or be killed. That's why I love Liam. But again, he's one fight I'm just talking about because this is obviously a UK podcast. He is genuinely one of my favorite fighters on the planet. Amazing human being. I love him. He's an incredible human being, which is very important to me as well. But make no mistake, this guy is a world champion with killer instincts, beautiful technique, but he comes to kill or be killed. And that's why he's Liam the Hitman Harrison. That's who I'm looking for, the next generation, right? So again, 10,000 athletes will give out 50 offers every year.
So so for those who are not currently signed to one, then what would be your best advice to these people listening who go, I really want to be signed to one, but how do they get from where they are now to that?
Chances are you're already on the list, right? If you're already a guy or a girl who's super obsessed, and is a high level pro, chances are our scouts are already watching you. And my advice to you is to make as much noise as you can in the ring. If you knock out every single one of your opponents and you come in guns a-blazing, and I don't mean careless technique. I don't mean like, going crazy. I mean really clean and crisp, but you're just coming in beautiful technique and, but you're coming in to destroy. You'll be on our radar 100%. Like I know all the big names in UK, the rising stars. I know all of them. And I look at some of them, my guys, they'll give me, hey, this guy's won 5 in a row, or this guy, whatever it is. And I'm like, he'll never be in one. I know it. He'll never be it because he's plays too safe. He's too too cautious. And these kind of things you can't fix as a fighter. This is what's funny about fighting, right? you can perfect technique. That you can. Of course, you need to have athleticism, you need to have balance, you need to have speed and cardio and all that stuff, okay, as a prerequisite. But technique you can improve over time. If you really dedicate yourself, if you're really self-aware, if you really, really study tape of yourself, you can improve. There's no such thing as improving gameness. There is no such thing. The way a fighter fights is, I want to say, genetically pre-wired in a way. If you're a cautious person in general, you will fight cautious. If you are, fearless, you will fight fearless. And those things you cannot teach. Gameness, you cannot teach it. So that's a prerequisite for us, right? We want the most game fighters, the best of the best in the world. It's a tall order because the other organization we compete with, they just want the best. We want the best who are finishers. Big difference, right? And I think because of our sharp focus on this is why we have a 70% finish rate, almost double that of our competitors in terms of finish rate, right? Across the different disciplines. So I don't want to throw water on anybody's dreams. Look, whoever's on this call, whoever's watching, only you know deep down your heart if you're obsessed, if your dreams are your obsession. Only you know deep down your heart if you know you're meant to be at the top of the world. You know that. A lot of people are pretenders. I'm sorry to say, a lot of people are pretenders. They're really tough in the gym. They hit pads really well. They spar like a beast, but then they go up and they really don't believe. Right? So when you're fighting a guy like Nang O or Rotang, there is no time. There is no room for doubt. There is no room for insecurities. You better, when your time comes up, your fight is Rotang, you better be ready. That's, and it's a lifetime of preparation. And you have to have the right instincts and the kill, right? So I don't want to discourage anybody, but I do believe this, that every dream is possible. When I started ONE 11 years ago, and if you said to me, Chatri, you're going to be, ONE is going to be top 5 in the world in viewership, neck and neck with NBA and Champions League, EPL. Dude, it was a dream, but did I think it was going to happen like 10 years later? No. But one thing I know about myself is I work my ass off. I'm obsessed. I love what I do. I love martial arts. There's nobody who loves martial arts more than me. I love my job. I love my work. I'm obsessed. My dreams are my obsession, and nobody's going to stop me. No amount of obstacles, naysayers, haters, or doubters is going to stop me. And that's the attitude I had on day one. But I believe anyone can adopt that attitude. Anyone can adopt that obsession, but it has to come from within. You can't fake it. You can't be like, yeah, I'm really obsessed, but inside you're not. Inside, you don't wake up at 6 in the morning and go for that, 10-kilometer run because it's cold outside. Or are you like Haggerty, who goes out there and it's cold outside, he'll go and do 12, right? You can clearly see who's obsessed. And when you're obsessed, there are no excuses, because this is your dream and it's your greatest thing. It's the thing that you want to do most in life, and this is the thing that you're put on the planet to do. And when it's like that, you're unstoppable. And if you have to fix your gameness, I'm sure you'll find a way to fix your gameness. If you just hear this thing, you're like, you know what? My dream is to be in ONE. I just heard Chatri say I gotta pick up my game and whatever it is, or I have to have beautiful technique. You will not be dissuaded by my words. You'll be inspired to unleash your greatness even more. And that means the path is right. But if you give up because of my words, then you're probably going to be a doctor or a CEO or something, You're not going to be a professional fighter. At least you're not going to be a professional fighter at the highest levels in the world.
No, and I understand completely, and it's inspiring words, because you have to, you have to be real about this. Dreams are great, but you have to put the work in to achieve them. And You know, like you
Yeah.
said,
And
you've got to be obsessed with this. You know, if you've got,
yeah,
you just said you've got how many thousands of people. You know, there's got to be, you know, what's the difference between each of these people on a physical level? You know, when you talk about the top 5%, they can all punch, they can all grapple, they can all kick. You know, what is it that separates them after that?
yeah. And look, the reason why I can be so tough, right, on everyone in our athletes is not because I'm trying to be an asshole. It's I'm trying to inspire greatness. And I'm not talking from a high horse, like I'm some rich dude. At the lowest point in my life, I ate one meal a day. I lived on $4 a day in America. My mom slept with me in my dorm room in university. I slept in the floor. My mom slept in the bed in a really tiny single, eating one meal a day. So I know what it's like to have a dream, an impossible dream. I know what it's like to be so damn poor, you have no friends and you have nothing. Nobody wants to know you. Um, and if I can make it, if I made something of myself, I know all of you can make it. But if you choose the path, you must be obsessed. You must sacrifice. You must be determined. You must overcome every obstacle, every setback, every failure, every naysayer, every doubter, every hater. And believe in your heart that you're destined, that you are destined to do great things, extraordinary things in your life. That's the only thing I can explain for why I'm sitting here when I think back to living on $4 a day in America, with my mother living with me in my dorm room in school. So when I talk to our athletes this way, it's to inspire them because, yeah, I've never been a world champion, but I've been down a very hard road in my life, impossible odds. And I know what it takes to achieve a dream. I know what it takes to be the best in the world. I know what it takes to do something extraordinary with your life, right? And it isn't doing what everyone else is doing. If you're training the same amount as everybody else, if you're thinking about your craft just like everyone else, you're not going to get far in life. But if you are obsessed 24/7, this is what you're put on the planet for. You will get there. You will get whatever you want to get. And I speak just from my own. I mean, that's the only reason why one is where it is today. Is literally because, you know, I there are many dark days in one. Many dark days. Many days where I thought the business was going to fail and I was about to quit. There's maybe 3 times in the history of one where I thought I was going to quit because the first, like, I'll give you an example. The first 3 years of one, complete disaster. Everyday rejection, everyday failure. It was from investors, broadcasters, athletes, brands, governments. Everyone said it was a stupid idea. Asia doesn't need a sports property. We already have NBA or EPL on TV. Chatri, this is a dumb idea. Why would anybody want to watch a martial arts property? It's just such a dumb idea. And out of Asia, who gives a shit? Like, you know, Muay Thai's on TV every day in Thailand. Why would people care about a global broadcast? Literally for 3 years, and I lost millions and millions and millions of dollars. You know, because again, long story cut short, when I was poor, I was lucky to make it. I made a lot of my money on. I made a lot of money in Silicon Valley as an entrepreneur, and then on Wall Street, running my own fund. I had a $500 million global hedge fund, and I was very fortunate. But I was burning through all of it because the first 3 years of one was a complete disaster. But this is what I mean about setbacks, failures, and obstacles in life. It doesn't matter what dream it is. You are going to encounter moments of truth where you're staring down and you're thinking to yourself, that's it, my dream is over. And in that moment, whether you believe in yourself or not, whether you pick yourself up, back up again or not, will come down to what I said, obsession. And at the end of year 3, we had something like, I don't know, man, maybe a few 100,000 organic video views per year. Let's just say maybe 700,000, around there. I may be getting the number off slightly, but it's around there. 5 years after that, we were at 14 billion 14 billion, not million, billion organic video views. If I'd quit at the end of year 3, I would never have seen, well, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't even know that one, the impact that one would make. I would never be doing one Lumpinee or that. So my point is that, of course, on the outside, a lot of fans just see, oh, wow, one's a rocket ship, or Chatri got lucky, or they don't see the suffering, the tears, the sacrifice, the hard work that I had to endure 24/7 obsession for, this entire decade to get here. It was not an easy ride by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. It's been a very, very tough journey. So that's why when I talk tough to our athletes, is not to be an asshole. It's like, guys, if I was able to create my dream, you will be able to do as well. But you got to be extra brutally honest with yourself, and you got to be all in. You can't be 50-50. You can't be, you got to be all in. Doesn't matter what you do in life. You want to be the best ballerina, you better be all in. You want to be the best musician, you better be all in. You want to be the best CEO, you better be all in. You want to be the best fighter, you better be all in. And I know many fighters, by the way, are not all in. I see many. I travel all the world. They hit pads. They look amazing first few rounds. But then when it comes down to the last round, are they still there mentally in their heart? No. Different, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. Like being all in is and it's not even just about being all in physically, is it? It's nowadays it's so easy to train a little bit, social media post, and kind of play the wrong game, in the world of digital media, and we focus more on the how it looks rather than the substance, style over substance, isn't it? And
right.
And unfortunately for the newer generation, they need to look towards the older athletes to kind of inspire them towards that work ethic and that consistency and that coming away from the distractions and everything you just said there is, I'm 100%. I agree with completely.
Amazing, Stu. Thank you so much. Stu, I wish we would get together more often. You're a good guy doing amazing things for martial arts. I really appreciate, I do follow you on social media, so I appreciate everything you do for the community. And thank you for the opportunity for being on your podcast. And I'm sorry we had to reschedule a few times, but hopefully I did okay for you.
Oh, it's been so amazing to speak to you. It's always a pleasure, and I'm sure everyone that's been listening or is going to listen to this as a podcast and wherever it may be is going to take a lot from what you said. And it's so amazing to hear about not only where you've come from, but where you're going, where you are now, but where you're going. And I, like I said, many times during this podcast, I have no doubts that you're going to achieve it, and not only achieve it, but take us down unexpected paths on that journey as well, because it's never one straight line, is it? It's always kind of, it's very
there's always ups and downs, always U-turns and lefts and rights, and nothing ever goes according to plan. It's just part of life, I guess, go with the flow. But again, when you live with passion, you live with purpose, you know exactly what you want to do with your life, it makes it so much easier. I don't have any distractions. I have no material thing. I have hardly any material things. And so I don't have anything. And maybe that's probably why I don't have material things either. I don't have like a lot of fancy clothes, or I have I think maybe a few suits and a bunch of t-shirts and shorts and jeans. But I don't like things that distract me from what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build one into, something extraordinary. And I just don't want, I want all my energy and all my mind space, all my mental energy. I don't want some pretty Ferrari to distract me, or I just be very focused on when all is said and done and my life is over. I want to know that I gave it my all, and that in my small, humble way that I helped the martial arts community.
Well, I definitely think that's without question, even at this point in time. You're changing the game, and like I said, if I can, I really, really want to get over to Thailand for both the One Championship event And
no, for sure, man. I'm telling you, like, you know, to all the listeners and viewers of this podcast, especially if you love Muay Thai or love martial art, January 20th is the first event of One Lumpinee at Lumpinee Stadium. It will 100% be sold out, but you'll get a front row to witness history. This will be the greatest era of Muay Thai, full stop, around the world, let alone Thailand. That January 20th, 2023 will mark the very first day of that new era. You mark my words. And I saw the card tonight. It's a sick card.
Well, I can't wait to watch it, whether it's in person or not, but hopefully it's in person. But anyway, I know how late it is over in Singapore, so thank you, Chatri. It's been amazing. Anyone who's listening or watching this, please, you know, you should, I don't even need to say it, I'm sure you're already following One Championship, but make sure you tune into the first One Lumpinee event early January, 20th of January. Is that going to be through the One app? How can people watch that one?
We'll be making announcements in the coming weeks. But yes, I will say that I was in Europe, and I was specifically in UK, and I'm fingers crossed that I will have a major UK broadcast deal to announce in the coming weeks, maybe coming months. I'll be conservative and say coming months, that every person in the UK will have access to One content in a big way. So that's all. I don't want to name who I've been talking to or something, but this year I did Amazon, Bean, Globo, and massive broadcaster in Thailand for our Lumpinee show. But in the UK as well, I'm working on a huge deal.
Oh, well, I look forward to hearing more about that then. All right. Well, thank you once again, Chatri. You go and get some rest. And thank you for everyone listening. It's been amazing. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate the opportunity. Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks, Chatri.
Have a good day.